Hi. In this video, we'll see how to create a playbook to process images with a QR code in it. This is very common for phishing, for example. So let's start by creating a playbook. We'll call it QR code analyzer. And the first thing we need to do is to set the triggering condition. In this case, we want to run this for a URL, so a file URL. And typically, this URL will end with the file name, so whether maybe PNG or JPEG. So we'll have these assumptions to work with our scenario. Right. So the playbook run on create. So whenever the URL indicator is created, and we need to set a couple of conditions here. So the first one is obviously the type. So we only want this to run for the URL indicators, and we want as well the URL to end with or the URL ending with the file name having the right extension. So typically we want PNG, and we can use this match patterns. It's very useful because it's a matching patching instead of a simple text comparison. So here basically means whatever, so anything then, so zero or any other string then dot png. And we should do the same thing for the JPEG format. All right. This possibility that the URL is in capital letters, but we will skip that for now. If we have to tackle that, we just need to add two more conditions with the JPEG in capital letters. Right. So type equals URL, and then the value is either PNG or JPEG, and both of these conditions have to be verified. All right. So next we need to download the file itself. For that, we will use a utility. So part of the set of utilities we have here, we just filter by file, is download file from URL, right? So in this case, the URL value is stored as a value for our indicator object, naturally. We will not need for this specific case authentication, but if it's required, we have the option for that here as well, and even the option to have a custom headers for the request. We can call it download image file. Okay, let's put it in caps. So download image file. We'll download the file locally to FortiSOAR. Probably right after that we should upload the file to FortiSOAR from the file system. So we can use the utility as well, called upload file to FortiSOAR. We can use the utility, and this time it's another utility that we're using, which is upload a file in the system. As inputs, we'll have to provide the file path, and we'll get this from the previous step. So from the step which downloads the file. So PSYOPS file path, that would be the name of the file under TMP path, and the file name we can pick. So we have here the file name. We get it from the previous step, but a better approach would probably have a fallback solution if the file name is not populated. So that would be, for example, the SHA. We can use the SHA 256 of the downloaded file as a name of the file, just in case the file name doesn't exist for some reason. All right, so let's save this step and give it a try. So we have always to set the playbook log level to debug whenever we are creating a playbook. So we'll be able to see the input and output information of each individual step. So we save this, we give it a run. So we have to run it specifically on a URL as we set the trigger condition to this specific indicator type. Right. So here we have the file that was downloaded at this stage, and yeah, so that's the name of the file, and this is the type, and this is the file name. The way it was stored on the file system. So now we took the file and we uploaded it to FortiSOAR, and here's the IRI of the uploaded file. So we can carry on now by using the QR code connector. So we have a connector for that, which would take an image and parse an image with the QR code and parse it for to extract the text, the text within the QR code. The file IRI is something we will get from the previous step. So it's okay. We have this wonderful option in FortiSOAR, which is to load the data, the data from the last execution. So we see exactly what did the previous step yield as output. And here we have the ID of the file, and this is what we are looking for. Right, so let's just save here, and we can run it again. So to see what the QR code was, and we need to provide a record to run the playbook with. Otherwise, all the steps requiring the input will fail because there is no input to work with. All right. Having a look at the data structure of the QR code connector output, we can clearly see there is a list, and then we have this dictionary, right, which hosts the text extracted from the QR code, which means that we can have one or multiple QR codes in an image. Therefore, we will have to parse this or extract basically this specific value from the JSON object, and then we can use the wonderful extract artifacts filter to do the entire job for us of extracting the artifacts and then categorizing them into their right spot. All right, the right category actually. Right. So let's start with this one. So we can use here a set variable step where we would like to have a string which has all the extracted texts from the QR code. Well, in this case, only one, but obviously when we create a playbook, we have to make sure that this will work for all possible use cases. Right, so get extracted text, that will be the name. And then here we can say text, or let's say, okay, extracted text would be the output from, right? So the output from this list. Okay. So what we can do here is use, so we can use either JSON query or maybe YACL to extract that text and then convert it to into a string that extract artifacts, can use as input. Right, so let's look for YACL. Here we go. So as input, we have data, and then the expression. So the expression we need is just the key we need is only, so it's only text, right? So it's the text within this so the text within this object, right? So the expression will be like this: text. And then we can do something interesting. So YACL is really amazing when it comes to processing text and manipulating, transforming text in various formats. Um, well, primarily it's for JSON, but you see what I mean. Processing the JSON text into what we need. So we can use the join filter right from here. Okay, so join filter, which basically it looks similarly to Python join, for example, or Jinja join. So it takes a list as input and then a list of strings, and then it will just concatenate it all in one big string with a separator that we indicate at this level as a parameter. Right, so yeah, text, and then we join it, and that should be all. Right, so we'll add it to this variable, and then we can test here and see whether our expression is correct. We could have tested it, by the way, on the right from the functions tab. Right, so here's our variable. We only have one value at the end. Yeah, so we can even test what's the type of this variable, because we are expecting a string, right? We don't want anything else. Well, even though this cannot be anything else, to be honest. But yeah, so we can test it like this. We have a variable called extracted text. So we can use the debugger of the Jinja editor to test just that. So we load the latest environment from the last execution, and then we have extracted text variable, right? So what we can do now is to use the type debug filter to identify the type of this variable. It's similar to type in Python. Right, so this is a string indeed, which is what we are looking for. Great. Next would be to extract the artifacts from the string, well, even though we have just one URL, but of course, again, we have to make sure that our playbook works for all use cases. So extract artifacts or artifacts, okay. And here we will simply use this variable to which we add. Well, let's use it the long way. Obviously, we can just write it here, but it's an opportunity to show what the UI can, how the UI can help the FortiSOAR users to quickly write expressions. So if we just write artifact, we have it right here. The input string will be this one, and that's really all we need to do. Yeah, we can even test it here. So run and preview result. And as you can see, we have, so we have the host from the URL, the URL itself, and that's about it. So we have these two objects as we can use later on to create local records on FortiSOAR. Right, so let's just add it here. And right now we are ready to, no, actually we're not. So first, before we create the indicators from this from the extract artifact filter, we will need to know what are the records we need to link them. We need to link the newly created indicators to. So basically, we have the original URL indicator. So this is not a problem because it's part of the environment. We We have executed the playbook on that specific record. We also have the alert, which was related to the indicator. So maybe we should do that first. So we should get the reference, the ID of the alert that the URL indicator was related to or linked to. Therefore, when we create the links in the newly created indicators, they will be automatically linked at the same time to the parent, if you want, indicator, but also to the related alert at the same time. Right, let's do that. So we just need a simple find record. So find related alert. Wow, alerts actually, it can be multiple. So we're looking for an alert or alerts where, yeah, so we're looking for alerts where, well, we need to include, of course, the extended, the related records. So we can search with it, where the related indicator, so here, indicators, have a UUID matching our current record UUID. Excellent. So this, well, I don't think we need, there will be 30, so maybe we can limit it to 10 or even less. So yeah, we're looking for alerts which with an indicator having this ID. All right, so let's give it a try. Great. So here we have the ID, or well, the alert that we were looking for. To be more efficient, we should probably limit the output. We don't need everything, right? We just need the ID basically of the alert. So that would make the call way faster. And yeah, that's definitely more efficient. Okay, so next is to create the actual records, basically the indicators, and then link them to both the parent indicator and alert. Right, to do that, we simply need to use the create indicator step. So we are creating indicators, and in this case, we need to use a loop because we might have one or multiple indicators from the extract artifact filter. So we need a loop, and the loop will be, so what we'll have in the loop. So here we have the extracted artifacts. No, we have I have artifacts actually. This is the variable hosting or variable holding the data from the filter. Let's see how it looks like first, because this will help us to know which key exactly to use. So we typically have this unified result key within the extract artifact output, which is perfect for what we want to do to create the indicator. So we have the type automatically identified, and then we have the value of the indicator we want to create. So we have a host, we have a URL, and one more thing, we have a file here. And this is not necessarily accurate. It has been recognized as a file because it looks like a path, but it's not. So we'll have to ignore that afterwards. We have this key unified result that we need to use. So this key is, as you can see, this is a list. So this is the list that we will iterate over. So we have here, all right, so we have here vars artifacts, unified result, and then we have a key called, let me double check, key called type, another key called value. So these are the two keys we would use to So we will use to create our indicators, type and value. Excellent. So value is the easiest part. So it's going to be the looped, so the loop item value. And then for the type, this is a bit trickier, but it's really interesting to know. So in the type, obviously, we could not set it statically like this. It has to be dynamic. And we can use the IRI lookup function to identify which type exactly we're looking for. So the field here is a list, it's a pick list, and the pick list here is indicator type. Incident, no. Indicator type. There you go. Right. So we can. It doesn't matter. I mean, we can pick anyone just to have the proper syntax, and then what we will do is simply replace. So we replace the string indicating the type with our variable here. So it was type, wasn't it? So it was dot type. So this should give us the type, the appropriate type for this indicator. One more thing we should do, which is to handle the case where the connector, the indicator, the object or the record already exists. So we can use this option here. It's a very useful one, which is to selectively update, specific fields instead of just stopping the execution, which is what the default setting does, or updating everything blindly. So here, if the field exists, we are only interested to update the relationships, right? So we'll update the alerts and the indicators. Yeah, so we'll update these two fields. Yeah, when the record already exists. Finally, we just use the policy for creating links is to append. We don't want to remove the previously existing links to other objects. And we just need to link what do we need to link? So we need to link the alert that we just found, right? So here, we need to link this alert and the indicator, which is basically the record itself on which the playbook is running. And that should be it. Right, so let's give it a try. Save. And let's see how it goes. All right. So we have here 3 records, the 3 indicators, and they should be linked. Let's have a look at the record itself. So we go to indicators. No, it's just save. Okay. So we go to indicators. You can see the new ones here. So the URL, the wrongly identified file. This looks like a file, and then the host. And the original URL is right here. Okay, so here's the original URL. That's these are the indicators, artifacts extracted from the QR code. That's the QR code itself. So, well, no surprise, it's malicious. And we have also the alert related to this indicator, and normally we should find the alert here as well. Excellent. So here we have also the alert linked to this indicator and vice versa. So if we open the alert and go to the indicators tab, we should see excellent. So we should see the original URL, which was part of the body of the email. and the QR code URL, which is rated now. We have the host. Well, this will have to delete at some point because it's inaccurate. And what's next? What's next? Yeah, next is to extract this text that we don't have, as you can see. So we don't have an email here. Support our, no, actually we do, but where do we have it? Yeah, so we have this support 14 dot Microsoft support.net, but we have it because it's part of the email itself. Yeah, so it's the sender. But even though it's not mandatory, but I think it's a good exercise to perform some OCR on this image and extract this specific email, and this will be our next task. All right, see you in the next one. Cheers.